talk about, in the AA book. And I am a firm believer, I'll touch on this, is that multiple pathways, the multiple pathways that are available to people in recovery, are, there are so many now that, to be able to find something that fits you and fits your personality, your belief system, go with it, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Whatever gets you there, whatever helps you. But the promises that they talk about in AA, are so true. I was actually reflecting on them the other day, with another girl that I was working with, and she was saying, like, doing that whole, like, there should be more, I'm X amount of, months sober, and I should be feeling more. I should have more. I should, and I said, well, why don't you read the promises and tell me if any of those have come true for you? That, like, the self-seeking will slip away, and, financial, relief, and, and I'm not rich by any means, but, I'm not broke, and, being able to, be happy and enjoy, that the freedom. If there's one word that I can say about how I feel today, it's free. Because I'm not weighed down by that addiction anymore. It doesn't own me anymore. And it did for a long, long time. And it takes time, but you'll see the changes in yourself, and you'll feel the changes in yourself. And, I believe in my higher power, who I call God, and I do pray. I've never been involved in organized church, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, but I do pray. I pray I pray whenever I want to. I pray in the morning. I say, please, God, help me for another day of sobriety. And I pray at night, and I say, thank you for another day. And if that's all I do in a day, then that works for me. But I know God's got a plan for me. I know that I'm supposed to be here right now. And you know what? I had to go through everything that I went through to be where I am right now. And it was not easy. And it was a lot of pain and heartache. But that's God's plan. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Because today I have the opportunity to use my experience to help other people on a daily basis. When I talk to them, I can come at them confident, and because I'm confident not in the way that you're thinking. I'm confident because I can look at them and wholeheartedly say, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're feeling right now. And maybe not exactly, because obviously every person's different, but I have respect for what they're going through. And that sounds like a fucked up thing to say when you're talking with somebody who's talking about how desperate and broken that they are. And you're saying, I know what you're talking about. I feel I know what you're feeling. And to feel proud that you can say that out loud, and hopefully it brings them some kind of comfort, because I can follow that up with, but it gets better. But you have to do the work. You have to believe in yourself, and that it's going to be hard. And if that's all that I say to somebody and they even believe a little bit of it, then I'm good with that. that makes me happy. But yeah, no, I never thought that the changes that I've made would bring me to where I'm at right now. I mean, shoot, like, I have been blessed in so many ways and continue to be. And the relationships for people that I love have, with work, have been mended. And the ones that were toxic and terrible, I've dissolved. And that's some advice that I would give to anybody who's trying to move forward, because I stress a lot that this is a fresh start. And by that, it means a complete new beginning for you. You have the opportunity to build yourself again. And you can choose the things that you want to rekindle and hold on to from your old life. And we're smart people. We know what those things are. The mistakes that I made before was that I was holding on to things that I knew were not good for me. I was holding on to feelings that I didn't have to hold on to anymore. I was not dealing with hurt and pain that I knew that I had to deal with. And so all of those things put together slowly and painfully have opened up new doors for me that I was strong enough and prepared enough to actually walk through. And then the next door opens, and then the next door opens, and before you know it, you're finding doors to open because you have that strength in you again. A strength that you didn't have before. But I don't know. People say, like, I bet you it feels really good to have a year. And yeah, I mean, it does, because it's a milestone, that's good because, but it just feels like another day, really. Because it won't, because tomorrow's going to be, a year and 2 days, and then it will be a year and 3 days, and then it will be a year and 4 days. And, not every day is going to be awesome. We talked about it yesterday on the podcast. It's like, shit's going to happen. That's life is going to be handed to you. And it doesn't, and, recovery does not come on a silver platter. It's a lot of work and soul searching and diligence and prayer and hope. And for me, there were vain attempts at sobriety that did not happen. And when you fall down, you pick yourself back up. And then you try again. And I don't know what the actual average is of people that relapse and then, go back to sobriety again, how many times it takes for it to actually stick. But you know what is, this is not a race, and there's no finish line. There's no graduation date. I will never be a certified recovered person. I will be in recovery till the day that I die. And I think, and that's awesome,
Mm-hmm. I used to look at rehabs, like when I would Google them, I didn't know any better, early on. and I would look for their success rates. I think I even asked one of them. I was on the phone with them. I'm like, well, what's your success rate? Like, it was like a baseball team. Like, what's your win percent? Mm-hmm. Okay, you got Tom Brady there? Okay, I'll be there. Then, you know, if you guys win 78% of the time, then that's pretty good. I didn't know any better. Mm-hmm. That's what I was. Those were the things that I was looking for. And, you know, over the years, and you've been at it for a while. You've had a year before, though, right?
Yeah.
See, I'd never had a year. So it was like a huge thing for me, and it was a good time for me to reflect. And, you know, a year is just a measurement of time, which if you ask Rob Larson, he'll tell you it's all relevant, man. And that's why you build a time machine. Anyway, that's for a different day. But a year is something you can judge and go, man, and you can remember a year ago. And especially when we're lying in the hospital bed, at least I was, and listen to some stupid UFO show about aliens, and I can't turn it, and it was horrible. Like, I remember that day, and I always will. And I remember a year from that day, and night and day, and the look on my mom's face, my sister, my brother. It's very emotional for me, and you know, to share that experience with people at the place where I was at, you know, and doing the podcast, it was just, it was a great day for me. And, you know, not saying that it's not a great day for you, but, you know, I get it though. You know, tomorrow's another day, and tomorrow's another day. And for me, after the year, I don't know if it was because you get coins every month, and then at your year, you stop getting coins every month. It just flew by, like coming up on 2 years and a few months, you know, and I'm like, 2 years, like, oh my God, never would have thought that would be possible. And, you know, just as much as I accomplished that first year, I've accomplished this, you know, year and 10 months or 8, 9 months, whatever. And so I don't know, it's just so rewarding, and it just keeps getting better. Taking it back to the promises, you know, when they read those, at first, when people would read them, I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure. And then I remember being at a couple of meetings where a person requested they be read. You know, like they weren't read, and they were like, can you read the promises? And they did. And I thought, well, let me pay attention here. And I started listening in, and I think a couple of them, I'm like, whoa, yeah, that's starting to happen, you know. And so then like you said, you know, you start paying attention to them, and you're like, wait a minute, yeah, like these things are really happening. And buddy Tom from the meetings in Charlevoix, Michigan, he, you know, it says that they're called promises for a reason, you know, because they're promised to you if you work the steps and stay sober. Now, I don't work the steps, but I've stayed sober. And, you know, I do work the steps. It's just not with really a sponsor. I'm not writing letters to people, and I'm not making amends, which is a whole topic in itself. But, you know, it doesn't mean you have to go apologize to somebody if you took a poop on their yard, you know. Well, I'm just saying, I don't know. I've never took a poop on anyone's yard. I'm just throwing it out there. That's not really what they mean. You know, I'm not going to call every ex-girlfriend of mine and be like, hey, sorry, I was a dick. Bye.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to do that. I can make amends by living this life that I'm living right now. And I can only say I'm sorry so many times to my mom and my sister and my brother. They don't even want to hear anymore. They want to see it. They want to see what I'm doing right now. And, you know, your family, the same. You know, they want to see Marney doing great, and they want to see what you're doing right now, and they're proud of you. And I'm proud of you as well.
Thank you. Yeah, if there's one thing that I stress all the time is that in terms of rebuilding yourself and rebuilding your relationships with the people that you love, and I'll say it again, is that, you know, you're right, because the sorries didn't mean shit anymore, and the I promise tos don't mean anything anymore. And so they don't want you to tell them that you're going to stay sober. They want you to show them that you're going to stay sober. And that's